Let me get my, hey y'all, let me get my live nope, way together and get these links up real quick. Today we're talking about 10 cities, 10, and I might give y'all some bonus ones too, but 10 cities where you can actually wholesale real estate and be profitable. Hey Steve, how you doing? Today we're talking about 10 cities, and I want you guys to make this list. Get ready, get your pens and papers because this is going to go quick. I'm not going to be on here long. I got a lot to do. You can pretty much tell by what type of shirt I got. It's one of them days where I'm going to be doing a lot of manual labor on a t-shirt. I never come on here in a t-shirt. So we're going to be on here today. We're talking about 10. I'm going to give you 10 cities where you can wholesale real estate and be profitable. Also, nope, you don't need a license in none of these cities that I'm going to give you. So you will not need a license to wholesale real estate in none of these cities that I'm going to give you. So I'm going to give you 10 cities where you can wholesale real estate. Not only am I going to give you 10 cities, I'm going to tell you why you should be wholesaling in these cities. You don't have to live in these cities. That's why we call it virtual wholesaling. You don't have to live in these cities, and you'll be surprised. All right. Okay. All right now. But yesterday y'all got them glasses because my eyes was hurting. Today, y'all gonna get the t-shirt and call it a day. Okay. So we are going to talk about 10 cities. The 10 cities where you can actually wholesale real estate and be profitable. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because y'all don't hear me when I say how easy this is and the things that you can do. Now, I did put out my table for 20. I told you guys I was going. I'm explaining to you exactly what table for 20 is because a lot of y'all was like, wait a minute, what is that? So let me share this link so the people in my group can actually see. 10 reasons, not 10 reasons, I'm sorry. The first day I gave you 10 myths about wholesaling real estate. Yesterday, I gave you 10 mistakes that most wholesalers make. Today, I'm going to give you 10 cities where you can wholesale. And I might even give you some bonus ones. So let's roll with it, okay? Now, if you can be so kind as to tell me, drop your city and state in the comments. I want to see if your city and state is on the list. Drop your city and state in the comments so I can see exactly where you're from. And I can tell you if your city made a list, because I guarantee you some of y'all not really thinking about these particular cities that I'm going to name. And I'm going to tell you the first one that comes up. I think I answered this question, but no, you do not need a license to wholesale real estate. And I'm giving you 10 cities where you don't need a license. And there are not a lot of restrictions. And we're going to talk about it, okay? So wholesaling real estate it's not easy work. It's not hard work, but it's a lot of work sometimes, depending on what type of system you got up. Now, I'm going to give you the most popular city that everybody asks me about. The first thing y'all ask me about is Atlanta, Georgia. Is Atlanta, Georgia wholesaling? Yes. Why? Because there are a lot of investors in Atlanta, but you got to understand Atlanta is the city. The investors are flipping outside of the city. Some of them are in the city, don't get me wrong. They're in the city, but a lot of them are outside the city. The prices are higher. So if you're scared of big money and big numbers, don't go to Atlanta. I got friends in Atlanta right now who are flipping houses and they're paying $400,000, $400,000 or $500,000 for a house that they can turn into an $800,000 house or $1 million house. So don't. If you're scared of big numbers and you don't know how to run your numbers, I'm telling you now, and you don't have if you don't have active buyers looking in Atlanta, step foot in the Atlanta market. It's very saturated. There are a lot of, I'm not saying you can't, because I'm going to tell you like this. They make 11 million kinds of bread and cheese at the grocery store. That don't mean new cheese don't come out. That don't mean new companies don't enter the dairy market and make cheese. Or new growers and wheat growers don't come out and say, we're going to make meat. We're going to make bread. So you can and should do what you want. You know? I mean, Levi's didn't make the only pair of jeans on the planet. We all wearing different types of jeans. So Can you do it can you be successful in Atlanta? Yes. But you will be frustrated if you don't know what you're doing. Okay. So now, why should you choose Atlanta, Georgia? Because it is one of the ones on my list. I don't wholesale in Atlanta anymore. If I come up with a good deal, I will, but I don't really wholesale in Atlanta that much anymore. Strong population and growth. The job market in Atlanta is crazy. And the reason why is because they still have good jobs. People are still moving to Atlanta for good jobs every year, every day, every month. The rental market in Atlanta is crazy. All you got to do is go on realtor.com and click rentals. Go on Zillow and hit rentals, and you will see how many rentals are in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Okay. Affordable housing prices. They still have affordable housing prices in metro Atlanta. Maybe not the suburbs as much, but metro Atlanta. But be warned, the lower the price point, the worse the neighborhood. Y'all gotta understand that. If y'all don't understand nothing, y'all gotta understand that. Okay. Now, Atlanta has a extremely active real estate investor community. High. If you look at most of the popular people on any social media platform, some of these groups, you can tell just by this. I'm gonna tell you how y'all can know. A lot of y'all watch reality TV. I don't, which is why I see y'all. A lot of you watch reality TV. And a lot of you, and most of the shows that you watch are based where? Atlanta. Tyler Perry opened up a studio, Atlanta. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Married to Medicine, and everything else that my girlfriends talk about. Most of the major reality shows that people watch are based in Atlanta. The first season of Love is Blind was in Atlanta. So you got to understand that's where that's coming from, okay? Now, so they have an active real estate community. They have people who rent, who are buying to be landlords, and they have people who are, oh, my hair look crazy. Y'all just out here, let me look any kind of way. But, so that's Atlanta, Georgia. Now, is it a good market? Yes. Is it a market that you could go into with no experience? No. All right. Now, second on my list, Dallas, Texas. Yep. It's rapidly growing. Dallas is becoming one of those cities that if you want to move to Texas, but you don't want to live in Houston, because everybody moved to Houston. Houston is what Atlanta was 20 years ago. Everybody's moving to Houston right now. Guess what? Dallas is booming. Dallas is where the population is growing. Dallas is where that Dallas-Fort Worth area, that's where your population is growing. That's where the economy is booming the most. Not saying that Texas ain't booming, because Texas, the whole state is booming. But high turnover in residential real estate creates frequent opportunities. That's Dallas. Dallas has a very high turnover of real estate, meaning people are buying new homes, they're upgrading, downgrading, selling, doing all kinds of things. So you have to be able to roll tide, okay? I know that's Alabama, whatever, but you have to be able to get into these markets where the real estate is active. So Dallas Fort Worth area is good. It's a business friendly environment with a high demand for affordable housing. So if you can connect with buyers, in Dallas, you golden. Number three, for those of you who are just joining us, we are talking about I'm giving you 10 cities where you can wholesale real estate and you don't need a license and there are not a lot of restrictions. You still need to double check the restrictions, but you do not have not a lot of restrictions, okay? And for those of you who don't know me, because this is your first time joining me, my name is Elisa Robinson, and I am y'all's favorite real estate diva out here in these real estate streets, okay? Now, number 3 on the list, and I told you guys to drop your city and state in the comments because I want you to see if your city and state is on the list. Drop your city and state in the comments. Now, number 3, Tampa, Florida. Yep. Yeah, I thought I was going to say something crazy. Nope. Tampa, Florida. Am I wholesaling in Tampa right now? Absolutely. So if you're in Tampa and you need a house or you're looking for an investment property to flip in Tampa, hit me up because I do have properties available in Tampa. Excuse me a moment, my eye is burning. Okay. Now, here's why Tampa is so good for the wholesaling market. Has a very strong migration of people that are moving into Tampa. Now, I grew up in that area. I grew up in Lakeland. And people, I'm a hybrid. I grew up half in the south, half in the north. Okay. Well, y'all know what I meant, north and south. So when I tell you, I know the Tampa area, believe me, I know Tampa area. So Tampa has a very strong migration. When I lived in Tampa, people was moving from our area, Lakeland, to Tampa. We literally, Lakeland is right in between Tampa and Orlando. And what happens with that central Florida area is everybody's migrating to Tampa or Orlando. So you in that sweet spot if you right there in between, because you can live in these smaller areas and work, entertain in these bigger cities. That's what makes it beautiful. It's an amazing market. So it's got a strong migration pattern of retirement. People are looking to downsize. So somebody who's in the north, who lives in a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, might be looking for a 2-1 or a 2-2, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, or a 3-2. You know, smaller, warmer weather. The weather is always going to make people go to Florida. It's always hot. Don't look at the temperatures right now because this for the next 2 weeks they're gonna be in winter mode, and that's gonna be the end of it in these next 2 weeks, and then it's gonna warm up, and you'll never see cold again until next January. So, and there are a lot of remote workers that are moving to Florida because now that a lot of people work from home, they work from home so they can live anywhere. They no longer have to live where they work. So a lot of people are liking that. And it's a growing rental market because the housing market is so expensive right now. There are a lot of people who can't afford these homes, so they're renting. So a lot of you wholesalers, like I told y'all yesterday, one of the mistakes y'all make is y'all only go after low value homes because you think that's where the money is. The sweet spot is something that's turnkey that needs less than $20,000 in renovation, or leaves less than $20,000 in renovation, and find somebody who's looking to be a landlord, or find you somebody who's looking to move in it and don't mind doing that little $20,000 worth of work over time. Okay. Now, number 3. Oh, no, 4. We're on number 4. See, y'all got to catch me. I don't know. Number 4. Queen Charlotte herself, Charlotte, North Carolina. Was a song, North Carolina, go on and stand up, take your shirt off, put it in there. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, the reason why Charlotte is so good is the job market. That's number 1. Charlotte is one of those hybrid cities. That's what I call them. That's not. I'm telling you now, that is not the technical term. I call it a hybrid city because it has a good mix of finance, tech, healthcare. So you can go to Charlotte and find a job in finance. You can go to Charlotte and find a job in tech. You can go to Charlotte and find a job in healthcare. You do not have, it's a hybrid city. So when the job market is the first thing that draws everybody to Charlotte. And I remember back in the 90s, everybody was moving to Charlotte. That's why they were moving to Charlotte, for jobs. My cousin moved to Charlotte for her job. Okay. Affordable housing market. And it has high investor interest. People are investing in real estate in Charlotte. So that is the reason why you should be wholesaling in Charlotte. You don't need a license. I'm going to repeat that again. Now, there is a steady demand for rental properties in Charlotte because they have a very good young demographic. And when we say that young demographic, we're talking about the sweet spot between 18 and 30. Between 18 and 30, These people are just graduating high school. They're going to college. So you got student market. They're going to rent houses. So you got a rental market. They're just getting married, starting out. So they're renting homes. They're just getting married, starting out, or they want to be independent and they got good jobs, good credit. So they want to buy a house instead of renting an apartment or renting a house. That is the sweetest spot for your people. All right. So there was a steady demand of rental property. That's one good thing you want to talk about. Now, number five. Number five. Number five. 1, 2, 4, 5. 5 is Phoenix, Arizona. It has a growth population. A lot of people are moving to Phoenix. They're moving. They want to go west. They don't want to go to California because it's too expensive. They don't want to go to Vegas because of the stigma attached to Vegas, which I don't know why, because my cousin lives in Vegas and his wife have an amazing residential area that they live in. It's beautiful. So they don't want to go to Vegas. They don't want to go to Cali. So they go to Phoenix or the Arizona area. Phoenix is Phoenix, Tucson, all that. Not only that, but there are a lot of government jobs in Arizona. And this is something that they don't tell you. So for those of you who are just joining, we are on number 5 of the 10 cities that I came up with where you can wholesale real estate. You don't need a license. You don't have to live in a city because we're going to teach you how to virtual wholesale next week. And that's where we're at. So high demand for single family homes in Phoenix, and real estate investing is heavy in Phoenix. So and it's a competitive real estate market. You really still can't find good homes in Phoenix, Arizona for a very reasonable price. Okay. And that means you're going to have a lot of room for appreciation. Appreciation is the increase in value. For those who don't know. Number 6. When I think of relocating, this city was on my list of relocations, and it's Houston, Texas. H-Town has a large metro area. There's a large metropolitan area in Houston. Houston is a very big city. It has suburbs, but the city itself is huge. So that's why. So when you talk about where you want to hold real estate, you want to look at, one of the things you're going to look at is population. Now, population, there's still affordable housing in Houston, meaning you can still find deals off market and turn them into beautiful homes that you can sell for a decent profit margin. There are multiple property types for wholesaling. Now, in Houston, you can do single family, multifamily, land. They have mobile home parks. So Houston is one of those where you can pick a niche and run with it. So that's why we say Houston, Texas. All right. Number 7. Now, put a 1 in the chat for me if your city is on the list so far, because I can't see comments, and so I want to see if your city is on the list. We are on number 7, and I was doing my research, and I was a little surprised by this one, but then I'm not surprised by this one because I know at least 3 people who actually wholesale in this city, and that is, we went from the South, we're going back to the Midwest with Indianapolis, Indiana. Indianapolis is consistently ranked one of the best cities for real estate investing. And people don't realize this. Now, that means as a wholesaler, you are an investor. You use wholesaling as your exit strategy. This is what you choose to do. Some of you don't need the money. You just don't want to be stuck in holding property and things like that. And that's fine. But consistently, Indianapolis, Indiana is consistently ranked as one of the best markets for real estate investing. Now, for those of you who don't know me, because you're new here, when you see me looking off to the side, I'm looking on my iPad because that's where my notes are. Just so you don't think, like, what's wrong with her? Is the girl slow? No, not slow. I just have my notes over here. All right. So when we say consistently ranked as one of the best markets for real estate investing, Indianapolis, Indiana, and affordable housing with strong cash flow opportunities. There is a very strong cash flow profit and profit margin in Indianapolis. So if you're looking for a city to invest in, real Indianapolis is one of those cities. It also has very stable rental demand. It's one of those cities where people buy homes and they settle down and they build their families or they build their empires, but they also have a lot of renters. It's a very, and it's because people, this is one of the cities in the northern Midwest that people are actually moving to, is Indianapolis. Now, number 8. Y'all know I wasn't going to leave Buffalo off the list. Hello. Buffalo, New York. The big, the rough buff, second largest city in the state. Okay. Affordable housing prices, high potential for profit margins. We still have a very good market. Buffalo is ranked 4th in real estate markets for the entire country as of 2024. We are ranked as being one of the most active and best and most affordable markets in 2025 so far. Now, we still have affordable housing prices in this city. We still have a lot of urban development that's going on. And if you follow my page, you'll see that I share our common council meetings on my page a lot. And that's because a lot of it has to do with development and the development that's going on in the city. And as a real estate investor, what goes on in the city is very important to me. If you're going to wholesale, retail, if you're going to do commercial, if you're going to do anything in this city, you need to pay attention to the Common Council and you need to pay attention to their live streams. They live stream all of their meetings. So it's full transparency and I love it. But if you are in Buffalo, New York, or you want to invest in Buffalo, New York, here's why. Those affordable housing properties with the potential for increased profits. That's number one. We have a lot of revitalization going on in the city right now. And we also have a steady rental demand for 3 different types of demographics. The first demographic, of course, we have a college on every corner almost. There's a college, a university, whatever you want to call it, a community college, a college, universities, all throughout the city of Buffalo. Student housing, and people talk about Airbnb. Student housing is where you need to put your money if you want to be real clear. Student housing is amazing in the city of Buffalo. Also, we have medical professionals. We have a huge medical campus here in the city of Buffalo. It's literally an entire neighborhood called the Medical Corridor. And what happens in the neighborhood, we have Buffalo General Hospital, which is one of the top stroke and heart hospitals in the country. We have UB Medical School, Roswell Cancer Institute, one of the top cancer institutes in the country. All of this is within walking distance, not to mention Children's Hospital. Children's Hospital of Buffalo is on national news quite often for the things that they're doing in that hospital for the babies. Okay, so when I say there's a high demand for those people coming in, student housing, short-term rentals are good for a city like Buffalo. However, our short-term rentals have restrictions, so they don't want that. All right. Now, let's move on to number 9. Number 9. Memphis, stand up. Memphis, Tennessee. Tennessee has very low housing costs and high yields to attract investors. So if you are looking to invest in a property for flip or for rentals, if you want to build a rental property portfolio, Memphis is a good city. You want to flip houses, Memphis is a good city. Now, you also have a high percentage of rental properties in the market in Memphis. There's a strong demand for affordable housing. because the income is lower than anywhere else. So you really need to, you're gonna have to find it, but you can find the gems in the you can find the gems in the dirt in Houston. I mean in Memphis. I keep saying Houston because that's what's on my mind. So Memphis, Tennessee is number 9. And our final, I got 3 honorable mentions, but I'm gonna give you the final one on my list where you should be investing and wholesaling. Detroit. It's everybody, Detroit versus everybody. That's what they say. I see that a lot when I go to Detroit, and I'm there quite a bit. When I go to Detroit and I see the t-shirts, it's Detroit versus everybody. I love those t-shirts. The first time I saw it was like in 2019. And I think those are great. I thank you for the fireworks. I appreciate it. Somebody just sent me fireworks on Instagram. So when we talk about the Detroit, Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, Detroit versus everybody. Everybody thinks about, when you say Michigan, you automatically think Detroit. Nobody thinks Flint or Lansing or any of those other things. But you do think about Detroit. And Detroit is good because they still have low property prices. Still have low prices that create high profit potential. Their ongoing revitalization after the city went bankrupt a few years ago, it was like 10 years ago now. When they went bankrupt, guess what? A lot of people from Buffalo that I personally know moved to Detroit. Why? Houses where you could get all brick 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes in decent neighborhoods for under $100,000, under $50,000. And if it didn't need any work, you was going to pay 50 to 100. If it needed work, it was getting houses for 5,000, 2,500. I know this one guy, he bought like 10 houses for like $75,000. So really, you really want to look into those type areas. So Detroit, and there's an increased demand because of migration to Detroit. My special nephew, and I can say my special nephew because it's my best friend's son, not mine. But yeah, my special nephew just moved to Detroit last year. Yep, after he got out the Coast Guard, he went to his, he did all the, he went to, after he got out of the Coast Guard and he did his training for a job, he found a job in Detroit. He moved to Detroit from Louisville, Kentucky to Detroit. And not that he didn't live there before, he's lived back and forth there before. He's got family there. So, and that's the thing. Detroit is like a Buffalo or a Cleveland. So you definitely want to hit up Detroit. Low property price, ongoing revitalization, and an increased demand for rental properties. So that is why Detroit is on the list. Those are mine. You can run this back if you want to hear the 10, but I did say I was going to give you some honorable mentions. Now, honorable mention, St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis has affordable housing prices, a high rental demand, and a lot of revitalization is going on in St. Louis right now. So St. Louis is good. The St. Louis, those of you who are fans of Nelly and his wife, Ashanti. Okay, now my second honorable mention, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Steady rental market in Milwaukee. They have affordable property inventory. They have a lot of inventory, and their proximity to other major cities like Chicago. I didn't realize it until I started doing business in Milwaukee, how close Milwaukee is to Chicago. I don't pay attention to it on the map, and I like geography, but I don't really pay attention to it. It attracts investors because it's close to Chicago, but it's not as expensive as Chicago. So that's why people are in Milwaukee. Not only that, but hint, hint, I got a girl who closed deals in Milwaukee quick. And title companies, that's a title company state. They don't play around. And my third honorable mention, Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana has extremely low prices, property prices, very low. You can look it up. They're also very close to Chicago and Detroit. Also, a lot of urban, the inner city of the area, the city itself is going through a lot of revitalization right now. There's a lot going on. You can buy tax liens, Gary, Indiana. So yeah, that's another good thing too. So you want to be in any of those. Now, my honorable mention. Well, I have three more. See how I did that? I gave y'all 16 total. Y'all ain't paying attention. Cleveland, Ohio. Let me explain Cleveland to y'all. First of all, let me explain. If I explain Buffalo, I explain Cleveland. They're sister cities. It's literally a 3 hour drive down the 90 from Buffalo to Cleveland. Okay. They have a low cost entry, high rental demand, and they're emerging neighborhoods. There are neighborhoods in Cleveland that are like blowing up. So if you want a city to wholesale real estate in, I've given you so far 13, 14, because now that I'm in Cleveland, and I'm getting ready to give you two more. Not only Cleveland, but Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio have a very strong economic growth going on right now because they have a diversified economy with tech, healthcare, and real estate. Now, because they have healthcare and because they have tech, they also have an emerging younger demographic. These people don't want to live at home with mom and dad, but they also don't want the responsibility of buying a house yet. So there's a lot of rental property that's going on. Now, if you go to Columbus, right around 4th Street, 4th Ave, there's a lot of revitalization that's going on in the area in the last 6 years. How do I know? 6 years ago, I was there for my niece's graduation. And when I tell you we rode through the hood, and I say that with my chest, the hood, to get to her graduation spot. Well, I went and spent my birthday with them this past June. And guess what? That same area that was the hood now $6,000 homes, $500,000 homes in it. So revitalization is going on in Columbus like you would not believe. And people are moving from cities like Cleveland and Dayton, even Buffalo, and they're moving to Columbus. So that's why. And my last one, I just mentioned it. I snuck it in when I was talking about Detroit, but I'm gonna say it right now. Louisville, Kentucky. I know some of y'all say Louisville. It's Louisville. That's how they say it. Louisville. Louisville, Kentucky has affordable housing with room for appreciation. Nobody is tapped into the people are tapped in, but it hasn't become a major real estate hub yet. So people are not. Louisville offers lower cost of entry compared to many markets, while certain neighborhoods like Germantown is a neighborhood, and Portland are their appreciation rates are where that's where the revitalization is going on at. So you also want to look at the strong rental market in Louisville because companies like Ford shut down plants in Buffalo or shut down divisions of their plants in Buffalo, and they moved those jobs to Louisville. That's how my friend ended out in Louisville. And Kentucky is investor friendly. Kentucky is a real estate investor friendly market. So if you are looking for how cities to wholesale real estate, I just gave you 16 properties. And I said I was only going to give you 10. I gave you 16. Gave you 16 properties where you can wholesale real estate. One, you don't need a license. Two, it's easy to do it virtually. And three, you can make a lot of money. The profit margins are high in those 16 areas that I gave you. So that's my spiel. Next Monday, I hope you guys are ready for it. Next Monday at 12 noon, I will be live in person on every platform, which is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to try and set my TikTok up too. That's how crazy this is going to get. And we're going to try and get all of this situated so that I can go live. I'm going to be teaching my contracts and closing wholesaling class from start to finish, Monday through Friday next week, free of charge on the internet. There is a second part to this, and this is because I used to always do lunch and learns. And I'm coming live every day next week for Monday through Friday from 12 to 1. I'm telling you now when that time is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday next week, starting the 13th. This is not going to be, the Zoom link is for the table of 20. Now, my table of 20, let me explain this to you guys, because y'all sit here like, oh, what's table of 20? What is that? Where'd you get that from? How'd you do that? Now, I'm explaining to you what table of 20 is. Now, table of 20 is my intensive after, it's the VIP section of the lunch and learn. Okay? You can come sit at the table of 20 with me. The table of 20 is going to give you a replay of all 5 days, because just because I'm online and I'm going to be teaching it, I'm not leaving it up. Okay, that's number one. Not only will you get the replay of the lunch and learn, you're also going to get the replay of the table of 20 strategy sessions, because we're in strategy sessions ran and guided by me from 1 to 2. So this is a 2-hour live stream that you're going to get, but the second half is not open to the public. You're also going to get all the course materials, workbooks, guides, deal analyzers. We're going to do all that. And you'll get, now in these live strategy sessions, we're going to analyze deals, which we're going to run the numbers. We're going to create your scripts. We're going to put you behind the scenes in systems. I'm going to give you at least 3 VA companies that you can work with. I'm going to give you some buyers in your area. I'm trying to see if I can manage giving you a list of properties for you to call. So this is why it's so important for you to follow next week. Now, if you want to be a part of the table for 20, this is what I'm going to do every month. Every month, the topic is going to be different. I'm not going to do wholesaling every single month. It's just not feasible to do. So every month, like next month, the topic is funding, how to get funding, and that's what we're going to be talking about. But this month is wholesaling, because y'all need to stack up some money. Y'all really do. Y'all really need to stack up some money, because a lot of you I talked to, I opened up my calendar to book a strategy session with me. And a lot of you are coming to me and you don't have any money. You don't have any money. You've got bad credit. So how are you going to get funded? You're making it really hard for you. One or the other. I mean, even if you don't have one, you got to have the other. So what we're doing is for the table of 20, and there's only 20 spots. I promise you when I tell you I'm not opening up no more. 20 spots. Why? Because I'm going to individually, in these hour-long strategy sessions, I'm going to individually go through your processes with you to see exactly where you are, where you need to be, and what we can do to get you there. So that's why the table of 20 is limited to 20 people. I can't work like that. I can't give you the attention that you need in order for me to do this. The cost of the table of 20, thank you, Steve, because I forgot to tell you how much it costs. It's only $97. So for less than $100, you will get me coaching you, guiding you for the whole 5 days. So let's get into it. This is a time when I tell you the real estate market is about to explode. It's about to explode. A lot of foreclosures are going to come on the market. A lot of tax delinquents are coming out on the market. A lot of low-income housing needs to be built. So a lot of these old abandoned houses that you guys love to wholesale are going to be sold for profit, and these flippers are waiting for it. So we have to start building our buyers list through table of 20. We're going to teach, and then I'm going to implement. The first hour is for teaching. The table of 20, so learn. All you're doing is eating your lunch on work. So if you're at work, you don't have a reason to say, hey, I couldn't get it. I was at work. Nope. From 12 to 1, we blast it out on all live streams. The table of 20, you guys will get your Zoom, we'll get a Zoom link. So you can join me on Zoom. As soon as 1 o'clock hits, we're going to wrap up the education, cut the live feed, and focus strictly on those 20 people. That's how that's going to work. So I want y'all to get in where y'all fit in now. Once those 20 spots are gone, nothing else is coming up. All right. I'm not putting no more seats in. I can't afford to. I'm sorry. Because I have to do, I want you guys to win. This year, 2025, for the longest time, you've been saying y'all want to do something. And you are allowing people with no dreams, no talent, and no direction to out hustle you. When you don't have, oh, my pockets aren't set up. Well, I'm about to give you a 6-figure business at minimum. But I'm about to gain for a 6-figure business. So I don't want to hear no more. Because when I can tell you now, I've already picked my 12 topics this year for the table of 20. I'm going to do a different topic every month, and it's going to be the same setup. This month, January, is wholesaling. This is the only time wholesaling is on the agenda. Because I'm this quarter, I'm dedicated to wholesaling and finding my own deals and getting my own properties. So you guys need to understand the table of 20 starts January 13th. I'll be live streaming from 12 to 1 with the instruction. So everybody, you can get your instruction, something everybody, if you can't afford the $97 for the table of 20, just participate in the lunch and learn where I'm just giving you the education. Want to come in and get strategies and implementations, come on into the table for 20 where we're going to be going over. I'm going to be in your business and allow you to be in my business too. So that's where we're going to be. So I need y'all to come on in, get it done. He said, don't forget you. Oh, the link is already up. And like I said, it's only 20 spots. That's why it's called the table for 20. I only have 20 spots. And the good thing is, this summer, I'm going to be on the road with my table of 20. I'm going to be teaching live in cities across America. I'm trying to find how do you join? The first hour where we're in the first training is for everybody, and all you got to do is follow me on social media. If you want the for 20, where we're actually going to be doing the implementation, you get the workbooks, the guides, the deal analyzers, and all of that other good stuff. You need to be, if you're on Instagram, the link is in the bio. If you're on Facebook, I can drop the link to you. Give me a second. I can drop the link. We can drop the link. I think I just dropped the link. Hold up. There it is. So in this one, you guys are going to tap. I'm dropping a link now on my live stream. Yeah, it's coming through. Okay, so the link is being dropped for Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn. The link is dropped and it went to YouTube, my YouTubers. And on Insta, the link in the bio. Here's the way you get to it. You tap the link in the bio, go to the resource section. You're going to see the first thing in the resource section says table of 20, table for 20. Click that and reserve your seat at my table because that's what we're going to do. All right. That's how you reserve your seat and that's how you get it in. We are definitely, we're going to do big things this year. Next month for February, we are doing the table of 20 and we're going to be doing funding. Now, how we're going to do funding, same way we're doing this wholesaling. We're going to do an hour teaching and then we're doing an hour of implementing and getting your things in order and the things you need for the funding. Yeah, we're going to make sure. And we're doing the work in the table of 20. At 1 o'clock when the live feed ends, we are doing the work. It's not time for BS. So if you can't do the work, I'm trying to get you paid. And those of you who wanted wholesale real estate, you didn't understand it, We're going to pick our markets. We're going to choose our markets. We're going to start getting our stuff in. So as you guys register, you're going to start getting emails telling you what you need and how you're going to need it and where you need to go. And you'll have all your guides and workbooks and all this other stuff. So get ready. Let's do this, man. All right. All right. Now, I got to get up out of here. I've been for 40 minutes already. I got to get up out of here. Like I said, I'm dressed for physical labor because I'm going to be cleaning out a house today. So, but I didn't want to, and that's why, and I don't know what time I'm going to be done. So I usually go on at night, but this week I'm going to be earlier because it's going to take a minute to clean out this house. All right. Love and like you a lot. Remember what I always tell you, you can choose to be anything you want. I just hope you choose to be kind, because there's something in your life, somebody has been kind to you, and it's good to pay kindness forward. Not only does it make you a good person, but if we all did it, make the world a much better place. And we all know we can use some kindness in a much better world right now, because there's too much going on in these streets. Now, if this was your time to be your last time, and if you've been here before, thank you for always coming back and supporting me and participating in the case that I call real estate. Love and like you. Talk to you soon. Everybody have a great day. Be blessed.